Is it working? Yeah. Let's see. Hello? Hello? Oh, there's a chat right there. That's why it's going off. Sorry about the light. This is the best angle I could get. I don't know. My camera's been acting funny lately, too, so we're just going to try to get it over with. I did a special 4 o'clock one. I got to get to sleep at work more now, so that's nice. That's why I want to do it today. A lot of headlines in the last week that happened, which I wanted to go over that, even off the sports field. Jim Boeheim was in the news after Syracuse beating Louisville. He actually tried to avoid a pedestrian, but he struck him and killed him. So then he coached in the game against Duke last Saturday after that, but that's going to be on his conscience forever. Robert Kraft, the Patriots owner, might be going to jail for a year for soliciting prostitution. That's not a good thing either. Patriots could have a new owner, possibly maybe sell him if Kraft goes to jail. We'll see how that goes. And the other one, Zion Williamson blew out his shoe and was out the whole Duke North Carolina game, even though people paid $25,000 to do it. Yeah. Can you see me? If you could DM me here. I'm having camera issues. I see your comment. Um, I'm sorry, it's my camera. It's the light there. You can't see me. Can you say it again? Uh, can you see me? Maybe if I move up a little bit. Maybe if I block. Maybe I could shut that light off. Could you DM me again? No. Okay. Yeah, maybe if I try the light. Yeah, I don't know. It's my camera today. I can't really. I can't figure it out. Maybe if I try to shut the window. Let's see here. Um, this is the best I could do. I can see myself a little bit, but it's my camera. Can you see me now? That means DM me. I don't normally do this, but can you see me now? Can you? Okay. This is the best I could do then. It's dark. I'm trying to make it as light as possible. The camera angle didn't really help at all. Yeah, okay. I'll just run with it. But where was I? Oh, I was just gonna go to the NCAA basketball schedule from the last week. Sorry about that. My camera's. Oh, Duke's playing Virginia Tech tonight. That's nice. Gonzaga's the new number one. I think the last time I did this was last Tuesday, the 19th. So we'll go over all the games since last week, and then the games going forward this week that happened. The 19th February. Didn't go to any basketball games last week. Fourth ranked Kentucky was at unranked Missouri. Kentucky won 66-58. Vanderbilt was at fifth ranked Tennessee. Tennessee won 58-46. 15th ranked Purdue was at IU. Purdue won 48-46. 16th ranked Florida State was at Clemson. Florida State won 77-64. Baylor was at 19th ranked Iowa State. Baylor pulled off the upset 73-69. 24th ranked Maryland was at 21st ranked Iowa. Maryland won 66-65. Ohio was at Buffalo. Buffalo won 114-67. Dayton was at Davidson. Dayton won 74-73. Akron's at Bowling Green. Bowling Green won 73-69. Florida College at South Florida. South Florida won 95-54. Nebraska was at Penn State. Penn State won 95-71. Wake Forest at Notre Dame. Wake Forest won 75-68. Ole Miss was at South Carolina. South Carolina won 79-64. Ball State was at Manville, Ohio. Manville, Ohio won 69-66. Eastern Michigan hosted Toledo. EMU won 76-69. Kent State was at Central. Central won 84-74. Rhode Island's at VCU. VCU won 76-42. And Alabama was at A&M. A&M won 65-56. UNLV was at Wyoming. UNLV won 56. Wednesday the 20th. Big 1/8 ranked North Carolina was at first ranked Duke. North Carolina won actually big 88-72. Zion Williamson got hurt the first 30 seconds of the game. That affected their game plan, I think. Because their whole game plan, I think, was to focus around Duke. And that's why they lost. 6th ranked Nevada was at San Diego State. San Diego State actually upset Nevada 65-57. 6th ranked? I didn't know that. Yeah, the 6th ranked team lost. That's why Nevada's so quiet. Because they actually are 6th ranked, but then they lost. Rutgers at MSU. MSU 10th ranked. They won 71-60. 11th ranked Marquette hosted Butler. Marquette won 79-69. Florida was at 13th ranked LSU. Florida upset LSU 82-77. I didn't see that coming. 17th ranked Villanova was at Georgetown. Georgetown won 85-73. 18th ranked Louisville was at Syracuse. Syracuse won 69-49. Mississippi State was at Georgia. And Mississippi State won 68-67. Xavier was at Seton Hall. Xavier 170-69. Tulane was at Memphis. Memphis won 102-76. Boston College is at NC State. NC State won 89-80 in overtime. Fordham was at Richmond. Richmond won 72-69. LaSalle was at St. Bonaventure. St. Bonaventure won 62-60. UMass was at George Washington. George Washington won 79-67. Army was at Lehigh. Lehigh won 91-81. Evansville was at Loyola Chicago. Loyola Chicago won 70-58. Northern Iowa was at Missouri State. Northern Iowa won 63-43. Northwestern was at Ohio State. Ohio State won 63-49. St. John's at Providence. Providence won 78-59. Arkansas was at Auburn, and Auburn actually won 78-56. I don't know what happened to Auburn. They were ranked earlier this year. Pittsburgh was at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech won 73-65. Creighton was at DePaul. Creighton won 79-67. Stanford's at Arizona State. Arizona State won 80-62. Colorado's at Washington State. Washington State won 76-74. Air Force at Fresno State. Air Force won 64-61. New Mexico is at Utah State. Utah State won 71-55. Utah is at Washington, and Washington won 62-45. And Navy Loyola Marymount was postponed that Wednesday night. Thursday, the 21st of February. Not a lot of big ones. Pepperdine was at second ranked Gonzaga. Gonzaga won 92-64. Seventh ranked Michigan was at Minnesota. Michigan won 69-60. Navy moved, and Loyola Marymount was moved to the next day. Marymount won 79-70. Georgia Southern at Coastal Carolina. Georgia Southern won 79-74. Georgia State was at Appalachian State. Georgia State won 80-75. Vermont was at UMBC. UMBC won at 65-56. UCF was at Vermont. UCF was at Cincinnati. Cincinnati won 60-55. Winthrop was at Radford. Radford won 87-71. Let's see here. Other big ones, I think. UConn was at SMU. SMU won 77-59. San Francisco was at BYU. San Francisco won 77-71. Cal was at Arizona. Arizona won 76-51. USC hosted Oregon. USC won 66-49. St. Mary's is at Pacific with St. Mary's win 58-32. Hawaii was at UC Santa Barbara. UC Santa Barbara won 69-71. 79-61. Oregon State was at UCLA. And UCLA won 68-67 over Oregon State. Friday the 22nd, which was February, IU was at 21st ranked Iowa. Iowa won 76-70 in overtime. Kent State was at 25th ranked Buffalo. Buffalo won 80-57. Bowling Green was at Ohio. Ohio won 92-87 in overtime. Davidson at Rhode Island. Davidson won 75-66. Princeton hosted Cornell. Princeton won 68-59. Saturday the 23rd. The big one here was first-ranked Duke at Syracuse. A lot of big ones that day. Zion didn't play. Jim Boeheim just coached after he crashed a car into a kid or guy, killing him. But Duke won 75-65 thanks to RJ Barrett 30 points. That's a big one for them. BYU is at second-ranked Gonzaga. Gonzaga won big, 102-68. Now they're number one. Third-ranked Virginia was at 18th-ranked Louisville. Virginia won 64-52. Auburn was at fourth-ranked Kentucky. Kentucky won 80-53 over Auburn. Fifth-ranked Tennessee was at 13th-ranked LSU. LSU won in overtime after a loss to Florida, 82-80. Fresno State was at sixth-ranked Nevada. Nevada won 74-68. 16th-ranked Florida State was 8th-ranked North Carolina. Back-to-back ranked wins for North Carolina. They played tonight against Syracuse, 77-59. South Florida was at 9th-ranked Houston. Houston won 71-59. That's another team no one talks about. Houston, Gonzaga, teams that no one talks about. 11th-ranked Marquette was at Providence. Same with Marquette. Marquette won 76-58. 12th-ranked Kansas at 14th-ranked Texas Tech. Texas Tech won by 29, 91-62. 15th-ranked Purdue was at Nebraska. Purdue won 75-72 over Nebraska. 19th-ranked Iowa State was at TCU. TCU won 75-72 over Iowa State. 20th-ranked Virginia Tech was at Notre Dame. Virginia Tech won 67-59. Wisconsin was 22nd ranked at Northwestern. Wisconsin won 69-64. Last two ranked matchups, Oklahoma State at 23rd ranked Kansas State. Kansas State won 85-46. Ohio State was at 24th ranked Maryland. Maryland won 72-62. Penn State was at Illinois. This is the unranked games now. Penn State beat Illinois 83-76. Boston College at Clemson. Clemson won 76-66 over Boston College. Texas at Oklahoma. Oklahoma won 69-67. Tulsa at Temple. Temple won 84-73 over Tulsa. Let's see, Western Kentucky at Old Dominion. Old Dominion won 67-63. Georgia Tech at Miami, Florida. Miami 180-65 over Georgia Tech. West Virginia at Baylor. Baylor 182-75 over West Virginia. Vermont at Binghamton. Vermont 169-63 over Binghamton. Miami, Ohio at Akron. Akron 170-58. Richmond at LaSalle. Richmond 184-75 over LaSalle. St. Joe at UMass. UMass 180-79 over St. Joe. Central Michigan at Ball State. CMU 164-57. Evansville at Bradley. Bradley 163-61 over Evansville. Indiana State at Missouri State. Missouri State 167-61 over Indiana State. Wyoming at Colorado State. Colorado State 183-48 over Wyoming. Navy at Colgate. Colgate 193-71 over Navy. Western at EMU. EMU 177-76 in overtime. Georgia Southern, Appalachian State. Appalachian State lost to Georgia Southern 1969. Georgia State at Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina 195-82. Charleston Southern at Winthrop. Winthrop 180-78 in double overtime. Georgetown at Creighton. Creighton 182-69 over Georgetown. Detroit Mercy at Oakland. Oakland 195-75. Youngstown State at Wright State. Wright State 182-54. UAB at Southern Miss. UAB 176-72 in overtime. Loyola Marymount at Pacific. Loyola Marymount 163-56. Georgia at Ole Miss. Ole Miss 172-71. Missouri at Florida. Florida 164-60. James Madison at Hofstra. James Madison 104-99. Let's see. St. Louis at Dayton. Dayton 170-62 over DeQuincy. Actually, St. Louis. DeQuincy at George Mason. DeQuincy 179-78 over George Mason. Let's see here. Florida International at Florida Atlantic. Florida International 179-76. San Jose State at Air Force. Air Force 182-68. Utah State at Boise State. Utah State 178-71 in overtime over Boise State. Other big ones. Let's see here. Oregon State at USC. Oregon State 167-62. Northern Illinois at Toledo. Toledo 157-54. South Carolina at Mississippi State. Mississippi State 176-61. Vanderbilt, Alabama. Alabama 168-61. Dartmouth at Brown. Brown 168-65. Charlotte, Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee 186-67. Cleveland State, Northern Kentucky. Cleveland State 183-77. Cornell at Pennsylvania. Penn 168-50 over Cornell. Harvard over Yale. Harvard 188-86 over Yale. Columbia over Princeton. Princeton 179-61 over Columbia. Utah at Washington State. Utah 192-79. East Carolina at Tulane. East Carolina 185-81. Memphis at Wichita State. Memphis 188-85. Seton Hall at St. John's. Seton Hall 178-70. A&M at Arkansas. A&M 187-80 at Arkansas. Rice at UTEP. Rice 185-81 in double overtime. St. Mary's at San Diego. San Diego lost St. Mary's 66-46. Oregon at UCLA. UCLA 190-83. Hawaii at Cal Poly. Cal Poly 188-80. San Diego State at UNLV. San Diego State 160-59 over UNLV. And finally, Colorado at Washington. Washington 164-55. Another one, San Francisco beat Santa Clara. Or Santa Clara beat San Francisco 68-65. Sorry my phone's so blurry. There's a camera issue. I don't know what the issue is. I just found out about it. Didn't have time to fix it. So I'll try to fix it for next week. The February 24th, on Sunday, the big one was 10th ranked Michigan State at 7th ranked Michigan. MSU won 77-70 off Cassius Winston, 27 points. 17th ranked Villanova was at Xavier. Xavier won 66-54. Villanova continues to slip. SMU at UCF. UCF 195-48. Cincinnati at UConn. Cincinnati beat UConn 64-60. Let's see. California, Arizona State. Arizona State 169-59. Minnesota at Rutgers. Rutgers 168-64. Stanford, Arizona. Arizona 170-54. Last night, Monday the 25th, big one in Lawrence. 15th-ranked Kansas hosted 16th-ranked Kansas State. Kansas won 64-49. Notre Dame at 18th-ranked Florida State. Florida State won 68-61. And Oklahoma at Iowa State. Iowa State won 78-61 over Oklahoma. Tonight's games, we'll go over the games this week now. Go over the rankings and the bracketology and the standings. 3rd-ranked Duke's at 20th-ranked Virginia Tech at 7 on ESPN. Akron's at 21st-ranked Buffalo at 7 on ESPN+. 22nd-ranked Iowa's at Ohio State at Big Ten Network at 7. Miami's at Wake Forest at 7 on ACC Network. Alabama's at South Carolina at 7 on ESPN2. Missouri's at Mississippi State at 7 on SEC Network. Providence at Butler at 7 on FS1. TCU's at West Virginia at 7 on ESPNU. Toledo at Ball State at 7 on ESPN Plus. Dayton at UMass at 7 on ESPN Plus. Ohio at Kent State at 7 on ESPN Plus. Miami, Ohio at Bowling Green at 7 on ESPN Plus. Central Michigan at Eastern Michigan at 7 on ESPN Plus. St. Louis at VCU at 7:30 on CBS Sports Network. Western Michigan at Northern Illinois at 8 on ESPN Plus. Arkansas at 4th ranked Kentucky at 9 on SEC Network. Syracuse at North Carolina at 5th ranked North Carolina at 9 on ACC Network. I'm surprised that's not on TV. A&M's at 13 ranked LSU at 9 on ESPN2. 9th ranked Wisconsin's at IU at 9 on ESPN. Temple's at Memphis at 9 on ESPNU. San Diego State's at Utah State at 9:30 on CBS Sports Network. New Mexico's at San Jose State at 10 o'clock. The Wednesday, February 27th matchups include 17th ranked Maryland at Penn State at 6:30 on Big Ten Network. Georgia Tech at 2nd ranked Virginia at ESPN2 at 7. 7th ranked Tennessee's at Ole Miss at 7 on SEC Network. 8th ranked Houston's at East Carolina at 7 on ESPN3. Oklahoma State's at 11th ranked Texas Tech at 7 on ESPNU. Clemson's at Pittsburgh on ACC Network. DePaul's at Georgetown at 7 on CBS Sports Network. USCF's at South Florida on ESPN3 at 7 p.m. Richmond's at George Mason at 7 p.m. Let's see here. UMass Lyle at Maine at 7 p.m. Boston University at Lafayette at 7 p.m. Bucknell at Navy at 7 p.m. 8 p.m. Loyola Chicago at Northern Iowa. Illinois at 14 ranked Purdue at 8:30 on Big Ten Network. 10th ranked Marquette's now at unranked Villanova. Yeah, Villanova are defending champions who are unranked. They're on FS1 at 9. 23rd ranked Cincinnati, they're ranked now at SMU at 9 on CBS Sports Network. Colorado State's at Boise State at 9. Texas at Baylor at 9 on ESPNU. Auburn's at Georgia at 9 on ESPNU. Florida's at Vanderbilt at 9 on SEC Network. Louisville's at Boston College at 9 on ACC Network. Wyoming's at Fresno State at 10. And UNLV's at 12th ranked Nevada at 11 on CBS Sports Network. We'll go over the rankings. I haven't done that in weeks. We should. Thursday, February 28th. This is Thursday. 6:36 on TV. Robert Morris at Sacred Heart, CBS Sports Network. Xavier's at St. John's at 6:30 on FS1. Nebraska's at 9th ranked Michigan at 7 on ESPN. 24th ranked Wofford, they're ranked now at Chattanooga at 7 on ESPN Plus. I told you Wofford's a sneak team last week. Elon's at James Madison at 7. UConn's at Wichita State at 7 on ESPN2. Let's see here. ESPN News has Winthrop at Hampton at 7. Texas State's at Troy at 7. Arkansas State at Georgia State at 7. Little Rock's at Georgia Southern at 7. Versus at VMI at 7. Winthrop's at Hampton at 7 on ESPN News. Western Kentucky's at UF at 7:30. Marshall's at Louisiana Tech at 7:30. At 8 on CBS Sports Network. Old Dominion's at UTSA. Florida Atlantic is at North Texas at 8 on ESPN Plus. Appalachian State's at UL Monroe on ESPN Plus at 8. Let's see here. Tulane's at Tulsa at 9 on ESPNU. Minnesota's at Northwestern at 9 on ESPN2. Arizona's at Oregon State on FS1 at 9. Washington State's at Stanford at 9 on Pac-12 Network. And ESPN at 9. USC's at UCLA. And the big one, first ranked Gonzaga, that's so late at Pacific at 11 on ESPN2. 25th ranked Washington's at California at 11 on FS1. UC Irvine's at UC Davis at 11 on ESPNU. Arizona State's at Oregon at 11 on Pac-12 Network. And Portland's at St. Mary's at 11. That's not on TV. The first March game on Friday the 1st is between Columbia and Brown. That's a shout-out at 5 p.m. on ESPNU. Kent State's at Bowling Green at 6 on CBS Sports Network. Rhode Island's at Dayton at 7 on ESPN2. Princeton at Dartmouth at 7. Pennsylvania's at Harvard at 7. No ranked games on Friday. Actually, Buffalo's playing at 8. Never mind. 21st ranked Buffalo's at Miami, Ohio at 8 on CBS Sports Network. And Sienna's at Canasas at 9 on ESPNU. Saturday, the first Saturday in March. March 2nd, we'll see what the big ones are. Saturday, March 2nd. Binghamton is at Maine at 11 on ESPN+. 6th ranked MSU's at IU at noon on Fox. 13th ranked LSU's at Alabama at noon on ESPN. 15th ranked Kansas at Oklahoma State at noon on CBS. NC State's at 18th ranked Florida State at noon on ESPN2. Syracuse at Wake Forest at noon on ACC Network. Navy's at Boston University at noon. Not a lot of big ones except MSU IU at noon. Penn State's at 19th ranked Wisconsin at 1 on Big Ten Network. Ole Miss is at Arkansas at 1 on SEC Network. Pittsburgh's at 2nd ranked Virginia at 2 on ACC Network. Big one Saturday. They're playing for the first time in 2 weeks. 4th ranked Kentucky at 7th ranked Tennessee at 2 on CBS. Ohio State's at 14th ranked Purdue at 2 on ESPN. Wofford's 24th at Stanford. They're at 2 o'clock. Let's see here. Butler's at Villanova at 2 on Fox. Two disappointing teams. Illinois State at Southern Illinois at 2 on CBS Sports Network. Iowa State at Texas at 2 on ESPN2. West Virginia at Oklahoma at 2 on ESPNU. Ohio at Akron at 2 on ESPN Plus. George Mason's at St. Louis at 3 on NBC Sports Network. Eastern Michigan's at Northern Illinois at 3. South Carolina's at Missouri at 3:30 on SEC Network. Miami's at 3rd-ranked Duke at 4 on CBS. UCF's at 8th-ranked Houston at 4 on ESPN. 11th-ranked Texas Tech's at TCU at 4 on ESPN2. Mississippi State's at Auburn at 4 on ESPNU. Other games, Ball State's at Western at 4 on ESPN Plus. I might check that out. VCU's at Richmond at 4 on CBS Sports Network. Let's see here. Toledo's at Central Michigan at 4:30 on ESPN Plus. Rutgers at 22nd ranked Iowa at 5. LaSalle's at St. Joe at 5 on NBC Sports Network. 5th ranked North Carolina's at Clemson at 6 on ESPN. Bradley's at Loyola Chicago at 6 on ESPN2. Utah's at Colorado at 6 on ESPNU. Seton Hall's at Georgetown at 6:30 on the CBS Sports Network. Vanderbilt's at A&M at 6 p.m. on SEC Network. Princeton's at Harvard at 7 p.m. Columbia's at Yale at 7 p.m. Washington State's at Cal at 7 p.m. on Pac-12 Network. Stony Brook's at Vermont at 7 on ESPN Plus. Baylor's at 16th ranked Kansas State on ESPN2 at 8 p.m. Also at 8 p.m. Memphis at 23rd ranked Cincinnati on ESPNU. Let's see here. 12th ranked Nevada's at Utah State at 8:30. Ooh, that might be where game day's going. 1st ranked Gonzaga's at St. Mary's at 10 on ESPN. Not a lot of ranked teams playing this week. 12th ranked Nevada's at Utah State at 8:30 on CBS Sports Network. Georgia's at Florida at 8:30 on SEC Network. Arizona's at Oregon at 10 on ESPN2. Colorado State's at New Mexico at 10 p.m. on ESPNU. And 10:30 is Boise State at UNLV at 10:30. UCNU Northridge at Hawaii at 1 a.m. There's not a lot of ranked matchups that I'm seeing here. Unless they go to Clemson or Gonzaga for game day. I haven't heard yet. On Sunday the 3rd, which is March 3rd, St. John's at DePaul at noon on FS1. South Florida's at UConn at noon on CBS Sports Network. Louisiana Tech's at Florida National at noon. Notre Dame's at Louisville at 1:30 on CBS. 2 o'clock is Tulane at Temple. Let's see here. Creighton's at 10th ranked Marquette at FS1. 9th ranked Michigan's at 17th ranked Maryland at 3:45 on CBS Sunday. 25th ranked Washington's at Stanford at 4 on ESPN2. East Carolina's at Tulsa at 4 on ESPNU. Boston College's at Georgia Tech at 6 on ESPNU. Northwestern's at Illinois at 6:30 on Big Ten Network. And Arizona State's at Oregon State at 8 on ESPNU. So Monday the 4th, we'll do our next podcast March 5th. It's 2nd ranked Virginia's at Syracuse at 7 on ESPN. Texas at 11th ranked Texas Tech at 9 on ESPN. 16th ranked Kansas State at TCU at 9 on ESPN2. And Prairie A&M's at Alabama State at 9 p.m. on ESPNU. Those are the matchups till next Monday. I'll go over the rankings this week. The AP coaches poll. Let's see what they got ranked. 1st ranked Gonzaga. They're 27-2. They're doing great. 2nd ranked Virginia, 24-2. They've only lost to Duke twice. They're underrated. They're 2nd ranked. I shouldn't say that, but people think they are. 3rd ranked Duke. They lost a game to North Carolina last week. They're 24-3. 4th ranked Kentucky at 23-4. North Carolina's rising. They're 22-5 and 5th. MSU is 6th. They're 23-5. Tennessee's 24-3. They're slipping a little bit. Houston's 8-1, or they're 8th. They're moving up. They're 26-1. Michigan's slipping a little bit. 24-4 and 9th. Marquette's moving up. They're 23-4 and 10th. Texas Tech is as well. They're 22-5 and 11th. 12th is Nevada at 25-2. They slipped in the rankings. 13th ranked LSU stays where they're at, even with the win against Tennessee. They're 22-5. They lost to Florida. 4th ranked Purdue moved up 20-7. Kansas dropped, but they won a big one last night. They're 20-7. At 15th ranked, 16th ranked Kansas State. They lost last night. They moved up 7 spots, but they're 21-6 now. 17th ranked Maryland's 21-7. They moved up 7 spots. Florida State dropped to 18, 2 spots, 21-6. 19th ranked Wisconsin moved up. They're 19-8. Virginia Tech's ranked again. They're 21-6. Buffalo moved up 4 spots. They're 24-3. Iowa dropped 1. They're 21-6. Cincinnati moved into the rankings. They're 23-4. Wofford moved in as well at 24-4. And Washington, they moved into the rankings. They're leading the Pac-12 at 22-5. Good for the Pac-12. Teams that dropped out of the rankings surprisingly: Louisville and Villanova. Iowa State dropped out. Mississippi State, Auburn got votes. Baylor, VCU, Old Dominion, and New Mexico State. So Villanova, Louisville, and Iowa State were the only teams that dropped out. The standings I do the conference-wise overall. And sorry for my blurry vision. The American East Conference, Vermont's 12-2 in first. Stony Brook's half game back 10-3, and UMBC's 10-4, 2 games back in third. The American Athletic Conference, 8th ranked Houston's 13-1. Second in the divisions, 23rd ranked Cincinnati at 12-2. Tied for third are UCF and Memphis or Temple at 10-4. The Atlantic 10 Conference, VCU has a 1 game lead. They're leading the conference at 12-2. Davidson's 11-3 in second. Dayton's 10-4 in third. DeQuincy and George Mason, St. Bonaventure are all tied for fourth at 9-5. The ACC Conference, Virginia and Duke and North Carolina are all tied at 12-2 now for first. Tied for fourth, Florida State and Virginia Tech at 10-5. Syracuse at 9-5-6. The Atlantic Sun Conference, Lipscomb's 13-2 in second. Liberty's 12-2. The Big 12 Conference, I'm about to sneeze here. Hang on. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. The Big 12 now is really nice. 60 ranked Kansas State's 11-4. They're still leading it. Half game back, or Texas Tech's 0.5 games back, 10-4 in second. Kansas is third at 10-5 in third. Baylor's fourth at 9-5. Iowa State's 9-6 in fifth. The Big East Conference is in first. Marquette's 12-2. Villanova's 11-4 in second. And St. John's is third at 8-7. The Big East isn't that good this year. The Big Sky Conference, Montana's 13-3. Northern Colorado's 12-4 in second. Weber State's 10-6 in third. Montana State and Eastern Washington are tied for 9-7 for fourth. Radford's 11-3 in first. Campbell's 10-4 in second. Winthrop's 10-5 in third. The Big Ten Conference, MSU's 14-3. Purdue is in second at 13-3. Excuse me. Michigan's in third at 13-4. Maryland's in fourth at 12-5. Fifth is Wisconsin at 11-5. And Iowa's 10-6 and 6. The Big West Conference, UC Irvine, they're underrated. They're 11-1. CSU Fullerton's 9-4 in second. UC Santa Barbara's third at 8-5. The Colonial Athletic Association, Hofstra's 13-3 in first. Northeastern 12-4 in second. Charleston's 11-6 in third. The CUSA, Old Dominion's 12-3. UTSA's in second at 9-5. Tied for third are Southern Miss, UM, and Western Kentucky, all at 9-6 in the conference. The Horizon League, Wright State's leading solely at 12-4. Northern Kentucky's in second at 11-5. Tied for third are Green Bay, UIC, and Oakland, all at 9-7. The Ivy League, Yale's 9-2. Princeton and Harvard tied with them for second at 7-3. Metro Athletic Conference, Iona's 11-6 in first, but right behind them, all tied for second are Quinnipiac, Siena, Canassus, and Rider at 10-6. Monmouth is in yes, they're in fifth with actually they're in sixth at 9-8. They're out there too. The MAC Conference in the East, Buffalo's 1 game ahead over Bowling Green at 12-2. Bowling Green's 11-3. Kent State's in third at 8-6. The Mount West Conference, Toledo's only up by a game now over Central at 9-5. Central's 8-6. EMU's 7-7. There's a big one Saturday for the MAC West. Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, Norfolk State's 12-1. North Carolina AT&T's 11-3 in second. And North Carolina Central's at 10-5. The Missouri Valley Conference, Drake, Missouri State, and Loyola Chicago are all tied at 10-6. Northern Iowa is 9-7 and fourth, and Bradley and Illinois State and Southern Illinois are all tied for fifth at 8-8. Mountain West Conference, Nevada's 12-2. Utah State's half game back at 12-3, 0.5 back at second. San Diego State's 10-4 and third after their big win over Nevada. They should be in the tournament. Fresno State's 10-5 and fourth. The Northeast Athletic Conference, St. Francis 11-5. Fahrenheit Dixon and Robert Morris are tied at 10-6. Ohio Valley Conference, Belmont's 14-2, tied with Murray State for first. Austin Peay's in third, 13-3, tied with Jacksonville State. They're tied for third. Now a Pac-12 team's ranked, but Washington is 13-1, leading the whole Pac-12, 25th ranked. Now second in the Pac-12 are Arizona State, 3.5 games back at 10-5. And Oregon State's 9-5 and third. Utah's 9-6 and fourth. USC and UCLA tied for fourth at 8-7. Actually fifth. Bucknell's 12-4, leading the Patriot League over Lehigh and Colgate. They're tied for second, 11-5, and Americans 8-8 and fourth, 4 games back. The SEC, it's a three-way tie between Tennessee, Kentucky, and LSU. They're all 12-2. Old Miss is 9-5, 3 games back. South Carolina's also tied with Old Miss for fourth at 9-5. Mississippi State and Florida are tied for sixth at 8-6. Now the Southern Conference, Wofford's 16-0. I told you guys about them last week, and now I'm glad they're finally ranked. They're 16-0 and 24th in the nation. They're 3 games ahead of UC from Verona. That's the third time today. East Tennessee State's in third at 12-5. Furman's 11-5 and fourth. In the Southland Conference, Sam Houston State's 14-1. New Orleans is second at 11-4. Albion Christian's at 10-4 and third. SC Louisiana's at 10-5 and fourth. Lamar's at 9-6 and 5th. The Southwest Athletic Conference, Prairie View A&M's 13-1 in first, Texas Southern's 11-3 in second, 2 games back. Alabama State's 9-5 in third, 4 games back. The Summit League, South Dakota State Jackrabbits, I like that name. They're 13-2. Omaha's right behind them at 12-2 in second. Purdue Fort Wayne's in third at 9-5, 3.5 games back. The Sun Belt Conference, Texas State's leading at 11-4, 1 game back each year. Georgia State and Georgia Southern at 10-5. UT Arlington's 9-6 in fourth. The West Coast Conference, now first ranked Gonzaga. They're still 14-0 in conference. They're 4 games ahead. St. Mary's at 10-4. BYU's 10-5 in third. San Francisco's 9-5 in fourth. In the Western Athletic Conference, finally, New Mexico State's 12-1. They should be talked about now. They'll probably be ranked next week if they keep winning. Grand Canyon's 9-4 in second. Utah State's 8-4 in third. Tied for fourth, CSU, Bakersfield, and UT Rio Grande Valley. And those are the standings for this week. I'll go over the latest ESPN bracketology prediction, what they got here. Let's get my foot's fuzzy again. So from the East region, first ranked Duke, they got the East region. First seed Duke played 16 seed Sam Houston State. 8 seed Baylor played 9 seed Florida. 5 seed Nevada would play the winner 12 seed Temple and Clemson. 4 seed LSU would play 13 seed Hofstra. 6 seed Buffalo would play 11 seed NC State. 3rd seed Marquette would play seed 14 Vermont or 14 seed Vermont. 7 seed Cincinnati would seed against 10 seed TCU. And 2nd seed Michigan would seed against Loyola Chicago, rematch of the Final Four last year. So I think it'd be between Duke and Florida, Nevada, LSU, Buffalo, Marquette, and then it'd be Cincinnati and Michigan. Then I think it'd be Duke and LSU. Then I think Marquette and Michigan would play. Then Duke would play Michigan. If Zion's out, I think Michigan would beat Duke, and they'd be in the Final Four right now. Michigan, Midwest. Sorry, there's somebody talking. In the Midwest, Kentucky's the 1 seed, 16 seed Bucknell, 8 seed Wofford, 9 seed St. John's, 5 seed Virginia Tech. This is the Midwest region, 12 seed Lipscomb, 4 seed Kansas, 13 seed Yale, 6 seed Kansas State, 11 seed Alabama, 3rd seed Houston, 14 seed South Dakota State, 7 seed Washington, 10 seed VCU, 2nd seed Michigan State, and 15 seed Montana. I think it'd be Kentucky and Wofford, Virginia Tech, Kansas, Alabama and Houston, VCU and Michigan State. Then I think it'd be Kentucky and Kansas. It'd be Houston, Michigan State. Then it'd be between Kentucky and Michigan State. Then I think Michigan State would beat Kentucky. So I think it'd be Michigan and Michigan State in one semifinal right now. It could happen still. In the South, I think it'd be Virginia as a 1 seed against the winner of 16 seed Iowa and Oakford State. 8 seed Auburn, 9 seed Texas, 5 seed Iowa State against the winner of 12 seed Utah State and Seton Hall. 4 seed Maryland and 13 seed Murray State. Louisville 6 seed. UCF 11 seed, 3 seed Purdue, and 14 seed Texas State. 7 seed Villanova, 10 seed Ohio State. 2nd seed Tennessee, and 15 seed Radford. I think it'd be between Virginia and Auburn. Seton Hall would beat Utah State, then beat Iowa State, then play Maryland. I think UCF would beat Louisville. Purdue would beat Texas State. Ohio State would beat Villanova, and Tennessee would beat Radford. Then I think it'd be between Virginia and Maryland, and Purdue and Tennessee. Then I think it'd be Purdue and Virginia. Then I think Virginia would make the Final Four in that case. The West, this is the Anaheim region. Gonzaga would be the 1 seed against the winner of Prairie View A&M and St. Francis. 8 seed Syracuse seed against 9 seed Ole Miss. 5 seed Florida State would seed against 12 seed New Mexico State. 4 seed Wisconsin would seed against 13 seed Old Dominion. 6 seed Mississippi State would seed against 11 seed Arizona State. 3rd seed Texas Tech would seed against 14 seed UC Irvine. 7 seed Iowa would seed against 10 seed Oklahoma. North Carolina, 2 seed, would be against 15 Wright State. I think it'd be Gonzaga and Syracuse, Mexico State, Wisconsin, Arizona State, Texas Tech, Oklahoma, North Carolina. I think it'd be between, I think Syracuse and Wisconsin would play in the Sweet 16. I don't think Gonzaga would get there. I think it'd be Texas Tech, North Carolina. Then I think it'd be North Carolina and Syracuse. And I think North Carolina would make the Final Four. So I think it'd be Michigan, Michigan State in one semifinal, Big Ten matchup. Virginia and North Carolina in another semifinal matchup. Then I think it'd be Virginia and Michigan State in the national championship. Then I think State would beat Virginia right now. I think State's that good of a team. They're playing better lately since they lost to Illinois. So that's cool. The MLB deals, let's talk about what happened there in the MLB. Manny Machado, we already know he signed somewhere, but another guy that signed somewhere that I like was Marwin Gonzalez. He was the former Astronaut. He signed with the Twins for a 2-year deal. I like the Twins this year now. I think they're going to be a real dark horse for the wild card. They could get the Central, I think, too. They got, I think, Santana at pitching. They got Marwin Gonzalez with Nelson Cruz and Byron Buxton. There's an Asian guy that's good, too. I think it's still there. But I think the Twins got a good power hand with Cruz and Marwin Gonzalez. I think the Twins are going to be really dangerous. Mike Moustakas re-signed with the Brewers. That's good. The Brewers are still going to be pretty good, I think. There was another one. Jose Iglesias signed with the Reds. Guys are still available like Bryce Harper and yes, Dallas Keuchel. They're still available for the majors. We'll go over big MLB standings there. Spring training started too. No big injuries that have happened. I don't go over spring training that much. Once the season starts, I do start going over the season a lot for right now. Going to go over the NBA standings real quick and to finish up the NASCAR race. The Bucks 46 and 14 leading the Eastern Conference. The Raptors are second, 44 and 17. The Pacers are third, 40 and 21. Fourth are the 76ers at 39 and 22. Celtics will be 37 and 23. The Nets are 32 and 30. Pistons are 29 and 37. The Hornets, the Pistons are rising up. They're 28 and 32. The Hornets are. Right outside there, the Magic are 28 and 33. The Heat are 10th at 26 and 33. Wizards are 24 and 36 and 11. Hawks are 20 and 41 and 12. Bulls are 16 and 45 and 13. Cavs are 14, 47, 14th, and the Knicks are 12 and 48, and last and 15th. So if the playoffs started, it'd be the 8 seed Hornets playing against the 1 seed Bucks, 5 seed Celtics, 4 seed 76ers, 6 seed Nets against the 3 seed Pacers, 7 seed Pistons against the 2 seed Raptors. The Western Conference, the Warriors are 43 and 17 in first, the Nuggets are 41 18 in second, Thunder are 38 21 in third, Trailblazers 37 23 in fourth, Rockets are 35 and 25 in fifth, Jazz are 33 and 26 in sixth. In seventh are the Clippers at 34 and 28, and Spurs are slipping. They're 33 and 29. Right outside there, the Kings are 31 and 29. The Timberwolves are 29 31 and 10th. 11th are the Lakers at 29 31. They're slipping. The Pelicans are 27 35 and 12th. The Mavericks are 26 and 34 and 13th. The Grizzlies are 24 and 38 and 14th, and the Suns are 20 and 50, 12 and 50. They're eliminated for the first team eliminated. So the playoffs started to be the 8 seed Spurs against the 1 seed Warriors, 5 seed Rockets against the 4 seed Trailblazers, 6 seed Jazz against the 3 seed Thunder, and 7 seed Clippers against the 2nd seed Nuggets. Lakers might not make the playoffs, neither might the Spurs. They're not playing well this year, I think, at all. The games for tonight, whoops-a-daisy. Scores. Magic and Knicks at 7:30. Celtics and Raptors at 8 on TNT, and Thunder and Nuggets at 10:30 on TNT. The NHL standings, we'll go over that really quick. The Lightning are 48 and 11 and first in the Atlantic, and second are the Bruins at 36-17 and second. The Maple Leafs are 38 and 20 and third. The Canadiens are fourth at 33 and 23. Sabres are 29 and 25 and fifth. Panthers are 28 and 25 and sixth. Red Wings are 23 and 31 and seventh, and the Senators are 22 and 35 and eighth. The Metropolitan, the Islanders are 36 and 18 and first. Capitals are 35 and 21 and second. Blue Jackets are 35 and 23 and third. The Hurricanes are 33 and 23 and fourth. Penguins are 32 and 22 and fifth. Flyers are 29 and 26 and sixth. The Rangers 27 and 26 and seventh. The Devils are 25 and 30 and eighth. In the Western Conference, the Central, the Predators are 37 and 23 and first. Jets are 37 and 21 and second. Blues are 33 and 23 and third. Stars are 31 and 26 and fourth. Wild are 30 and 27 and fifth. Avalanche are 27 and 24 and sixth. Blackhawks are 26 and 28 and seventh. In the Pacific, the Flames are 39 and 20, they're 16. Second are the Sharks, 37 and 18. Knights are 32 and 26 and third. Coyotes are 29 and 28 and fourth. Canucks are 27 and 28 and fifth. Oilers are 26 and 29 and sixth. Ducks are 24 and 30 and seventh. Kings are 23 and 32 and eighth. And the hockey games for tonight, let's see if any are on TV. There's a few on TV. San Jose's at Boston at 7. That's not on. Calgary's at New York at 7. The Islanders. This is on. Buffalo at Philadelphia at 7 on NBC Sports Network. Ottawa's at Washington at 7. Los Angeles at Carolina at 7. Pittsburgh's at Columbus at 7. Montreal's at Detroit at 7:30. That's on FS Detroit. Nashville's at St. Louis at 8. Minnesota's at Winnipeg at 8. Florida's at Arizona at 9. And Dallas is at Vegas at 10 o'clock. And that's it for right now for the NHL. The other NFL news, Michael Crabtree's going to get released, so he'll be in a free agent market. That's one of the big wide receiver names there. And Antonio Brown's not going to be a Steeler. There's no big NFL signings yet. Free agency's coming up in a few weeks. And the Combine's coming up this weekend. We'll see what happens on that one. I'll go over the NASCAR race really quick. I'll tell you about what I think about Robert Kraft, especially Robert Kraft. I think he's going to go to jail. Kyle Busch got his 52nd win in the Truck Series. Ooh, Dale Jr. driving the Xfinity race. And Brad Keselowski had a stomach bug that wound up winning in Atlanta. His first win of the season. I didn't think he'd win the race, so I wouldn't expect. I thought Brad would be in it as a contender, but I didn't think he'd win the race. He started 19th, and he will finish first. He led 33 laps to win the race. Second, Truex came coming behind him. He led 4 laps, started ninth, finished second. Third was Kurt Busch. He started eighth. He led 1 lap. Fourth, I thought Kevin Hart would be a factor. He was a little bit. Started 18th. He led 45 laps, finished fourth. Fifth was Clint Bowyer. He started third, didn't lead any laps. Sixth was Kyle Busch. He got tire rub. He got us to caution, but he came back to finish sixth. He started sixth. Eric Jones started 15th, finished seventh. He's been doing well this year. Eighth was Eric Almirola. He won the pole, but he led 36 laps. I thought that'd be a big factor. He slipped off after a road speeding penalty. He finished eighth. Ninth was Chris Buescher. He started 30th. Good day for him. Daniel Suarez started fifth, finished 10th. 11th, the defending the Daytona 500, Denny Hamlin started fourth, finished 11th. Kyle Larson had a great day today, or that day until he finished 12th. He started 7th, had pit road issues. He finished 12th. He led 142 laps, the most in the race. 13th started 13th, finished 13th. Ryan Newman. 14th, Paul Menard started 14th, finished 14th. Alex Bowman started 16th, finished 15th. David Reagan started 23rd, finished 16th. William Byron started 17th, finished 17th. The first car is 1 lap down, 18th with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He started second, led the first lap of the race. Chase Elliott started 22nd, he finished 19th. Daniel Hemrick, he had a great day going. He was running 4th, but then he had a tire issue. He started 28th, finished 20th. The rookie, Austin Dillon, started 10th, he finished 21st. Ryan Blaney had a great day. He finished 1 lap down. He had a pit road issue. He was leading late in the race. Led 41 laps, started 26th, but he had a pit road issue. He had to pit. Again, Joey Logano was the next guy in line to win it. He started 27th, then finished 23rd. He led 22 laps. He had to pit too. 24th was Jimmy Johnson. He finished 2 laps down. He started 11th. 21st was tied, or 25th was Ty Dillon. He started 21st, finished 2 laps down. 3 laps down, Matthew Benavides started 20th, finished 26th. Bubba Wallace started 29th, finished 27th. Matt Tiff started 31st, finished 28th. Corey LaJoie started 24th. He finished 29th. Parker Clearman started 34th. He finished 30th. That's 7 laps down. And both on lap 3 and 13, 31st, 32nd. Losh Chastain started 32nd, finished 31st. BJ McLeod started 37th, finished 32nd. Cody Ware started 36th, finished 33rd. Landon Castle started 33rd, finished 34th. Ryan Preece, he started 25th. He was running great till he got hit by BJ Pearson. BJ McLeod pit road, or he hit him. Finished 35th. Tough day for him. He finished out of the race. Garrett Smythe started 35th. He finished 36th. And Michael McDowell had issues. He finished on lap 222. Started 12th, finished 37th. So the standings for right now, I wanted to go over who got top 10s. Standings right now, Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, they're in based on their wins. So there's 2 out of the 16 spots filled. Third is Kevin Harvick in points. Fourth is Kyle Busch in points. Fifth is Kyle Larson. Sixth is Joey Logano. Seventh is Eric Jones. Eighth is Kurt Busch. Ninth is Clint Bowyer. 10th is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 11th is Eric Almirola. 12th is Martin Truex Jr. 13th is Alex Bowman. 14th is Ryan Blaney. 15th is Ryan Newman. 16th is Jimmy Johnson. Right outside there, Chase Elliott, William Byron, Ty Dillon, Daniel Suarez, Paul Menard, Austin Dillon, Michael McDowell, Chris Buescher, Ryan Preece, Matthew Benavides, David Reagan. Bubba Wallace is 31st. So let's see here. Guys that have 2 top 10s right now are Kyle Busch and Eric Jones. I think that's it. Yeah, they're leading the top 10s. Kyle Busch and Eric Jones, I think, are big factors. They're leading the NASCAR in top 10s. Kyle Busch is my favorite at Las Vegas. They go to Vegas this week. Eric Jones is another one of mine. I think Kevin Harvick's going to be a factor too, along with Kyle Larson, but I think Kyle Busch, one of those 4, they'll wound up winning the race. Another guy I'm looking out for is Martin Truex Jr. As the 5th guy. I should say Brad Keselowski, because next thing you know, Truex will probably win it. But right now, Kyle Busch and Eric Jones have the most top 10s in NASCAR too. With the Robert Kraft situation, he's probably going to go to jail. He can't solicit prostitution. The Patriots have to sell it to somebody that they know. Though I think they're going to have a new owner next year. Jim Boeheim, his situation, that's a tough one. He's going to have to deal with the fact they ran over someone for the rest of his life. That might be a big distraction for Syracuse the rest of the season. Will Boeheim retire? I don't know. Zion Williamson, I think they rest him a few more games. He'll come back whenever Duke plays coming up. We'll see how it goes. Let's see here. Any more NFL deals that happen, MLB deals that happen? If Antonio Brown is on the market, NFC teams, they're trying to trade into an NFC team. Dak Prescott, yeah, he's trying to get a big deal. Let's see, Robbie Gould got a franchise tag for the 49ers. Randy Gregory just got suspended by the NFL indefinitely for drug testing. The MLB, any big MLB deals, Martinez is PRP shelved for 2 weeks. Let's see here. Nolan Arenado trying to sign a $260 million deal. He's a great player. Todd Frazier has an oblique injury. And that's about it. Bryce Harper and Dallas Keuchel are guys still in the free agency market for right now. And we'll try to do a 4 o'clock one next Tuesday, too. Sorry about the blurriness.